right then. Okay, we have two written speeches today. So let's see if I can remember what I had written about Muhammad. So Muhammad actually started going to college in 1992. And basically didn't stop until 2000. Went to 3 different colleges and ended up getting a master's degree. So today we talk about the averages.
I'm surprised I didn't find my great review of a book on Amazon which says, I like cats, I have a cat, cats are great. Apparently my daughter somehow reviewed the book under my name, so that was kind of funny. And I've left it out there because it's just funny. Alright, so today we're going to talk about averages. The average. Let's try to be average. So what does that mean? We all just want to be average, right? No matter what, we just always want to be average. We strive for average. But I'm not talking about our personal lives. I'm not talking about our professional lives. What I'm talking about is our retirement. There's a little piggy bank there. Hopefully, we're all smart enough to know that Social Security isn't going to be there for us, right? So we are going to put our money in a little take there, a little nest egg. Start putting our money in 401ks. Start investing in mutual fund, bonds, stocks, whatever, whatnot. Look at it, readjust depending on the market conditions, and hope for average, right? Because we're always told market returns 8% on average, so we all hope for average 8%, which is great if we can achieve it. And then things happen, right? Other priorities come along, and then we say, you know what? There's too much work-life balance, can't deal with this. Don't want to deal with the 401k balancing, handling. Let's hand it off to someone else because this is really complicated. So we go to a financial planner. And a financial planner is always very smart. And they add value by talking about 401k, mid-cap, large-cap, diversification, modern portfolio theory, internationalization, things like that that really blow your mind because you have found the perfect financial planner. And you are set to be on the road to retirement. Everything is set. You know what they're talking about. You know what your goals are. Everybody's doing what they need to do, and everything's going perfectly until subprime mortgage default happens. And at that point, the Dow Jones, right about here, crashes. And you talk to your financial planner and say, "What's going on? What do we do?" And they say things like, let's stay the course. You're not retiring next year. You have another 20 years. You have another 30 years. You got a lot of time. The market will return 8% on average. This is just a bump in the road. And the best of all, one is past performance does not guarantee future. But of course, when they're talking about mutual funds, what do they show you? Past performance. So in order to kind of look at things like this cliff here, which you're probably standing up here and looking down and saying, oh my God, I'm going to die. But this is all in hindsight, in retrospect, right? We can look at it and say, you know what, I probably should have gotten out right around here, but I didn't because I was told that I should stay the course. But you can fix that. Right? If you talk about averages, and what I'm talking about is a moving average. A simple moving average is formed by computing the average price of the security over a specific number of periods. What does that mean? So a 5-day moving average is the price of that security over 5 days and then divided by 5. And every day you move forward throughout the last one. 50 days, same thing, 50-day moving average. 200-day, 200-day moving average. So in 50 days you're behind by almost 2 months. In 200 days you're behind by 6 months. So if we look at our previous graph with the 50-day moving average, you know, we see our peaks and valleys have kind of smoothed out a little bit, but they're lagging behind by 50 days. It's like, okay, I can kind of see something happening here. Maybe it's a nice graph. What the hell does this mean? Well, let's add the 200-day as well. So the red line is the 200-day moving average of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's lagging by 200 days, and you can see you can certainly see it's lagging. You can see the peaks and valleys have kind of aren't that jagged, aren't that steep, but But there's a really interesting thing here. Right? Did you see the light in this? There's a very interesting intersections here. So there's two intersections that you want to kind of look for. It's called a dead cross and a golden cross. Actually, the arrows here, but a dead cross is when a faster moving, shorter moving average crosses a longer term moving average. So in this case, the 50-day moving average crosses the 200-day moving average. It's called a dead cross. It's called a dead cross because at that point you should say you were dead wrong and you get up. And there's another one called the golden cross, which is when the same faster pace moving average crosses the longer term moving average. It's called the golden cross. It's called the golden cross. It's the golden opportunity for you to buy. So notice here, if you were able to get out here and come back here, you would have saved a lot of money. So did you see what just happened? I just handed you some gold. Some golden information. This is going to give you what you need in order to succeed. Because at the dead cross, if you had sold here at 12,500 about, and bought here about 8,250, not only would you have had 12,500 in your pocket to buy at 8,250, so you would have bought 150%, but you would have to deal with all this drop here. And at this point, if you had stayed on the market, you'd be down here about what, 7,500, and you'd have to come back all the way to 2011 in order to come back to the point that you were at in 2008. So there is a chance, an opportunity, a golden opportunity here to look at moving averages and looking at your portfolio. So now, moving averages are lagging indicators, right? So they're behind by 50, 200, 100, whatever days. They're technical trading terms, and the direction of a moving average conveys the importance of trends in the market. So moving average is going down, that means the trend is downwards. You're looking at 50-day, 200-day data, it's trending down. Moving up, hey, it's moving up. Maybe you should be in this. So one of the things that I do want to state is do your own due diligence. I hadn't known about this during the subprime markets. I am not a survivor of that. So I did go down to the bottom and slowly staggered my way back up. But now I monitor closely. All my mutual funds have a little graph. I look at it, not on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, depending on how the markets are moving. But if they cross, if there's a dead cross, I sell. Take the emotion out of it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all for you to call your financial advisor and try to explain to him why you want to get out, because he's going to tell you the same thing. Previous performance does not guarantee future performance. To hell with that. We're getting out and we're coming in when they cross. If they don't cross, hey, it doesn't matter. The one important thing here is if you notice, if you sold here and you bought here, that's almost 2 years of being out in cash, which a lot of financial planners don't like, and you don't like either emotionally, because you're, my money's sitting outside and it's not doing anything. It's not losing. You know, that's one thing you have to kind of look at it. And then if you notice, if you were to look at it in different aspects, it happens here, it happens here, and it kind of happens here, and on and on. So depending on your mutual funds, whatever, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, any mutual fund, you can go out and pull up this chart and add the 50-day and 200-day moving average and kind of look at where they're crossing. And do that on a, you know, whatever makes you happy. Don't leave money on the table. So in my experience, I did lose a lot of money by waiting and listening to that advice, but now I'm like, you know what, hell with it. I'm going to try to manage this in a more technical term, and I'm going to keep my emotions out of it. That leaves me with, and I won't leave money on the table. Otherwise, you're going to end up crying.